Look, let's move on to the player ratings, and let's start off with Vicario. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. And you know what I'm most impressed about with Vicario is his improvement in commanding his box. And I think that's no one really talks about it, particularly outside of Tottenham. And I feel like he's getting a lot stronger with claiming the crosses. I think he's getting a lot stronger with playing out the back as well. I'm loving his little dinks into the midfield and out wide. And he made an important save for us yesterday as well. Look, he didn't come under too much trouble because I think we dealt with Man United for the most part during the game. But there was that one save where it looked like the ball had gone past him and then he just clawed it out with like one hand. I thought was brilliant. So
yeah, from Xerxes.
So I thought everything that came his way, he dealt with to a really high standard.
Yeah, I only gave him a 7 because he just didn't have that much to do. I felt it was a very quiet day for him. I thought it was a brilliant one-handed save from Xerxes. I think that's the only save he had to make. He did make a save from Rashford, but he was offside anyway. I don't remember.
It says he made 2 saves.
I'm trying to remember the other one. I think it must have been a simple save or something because I don't really remember it. So I think it was a really quiet day. The majority of the game was played, us attacking Man United. So I think he didn't have too much to do, but what he did well. So I gave him a 7.
Let's move on to Pedro Porro at right back. 8 all round for Pedro. I feel like this has been his most complete performance in recent weeks, where defensively, I don't remember anything getting past him on the day. I thought he dealt with Rashford so well. Garnacho had to swap sides with him at one point, and I think he dealt with Garnacho really well. And he probably should end the day with an assist as well. If Dom Solanke scores that chance, he ends with an assist. So
what a pass! By the way, that I don't think that pass gets enough wax lyrical on social media. I haven't seen anyone clip out because he half volleyed it from his own half, like a perfect through ball to Solanke. Solanke actually didn't have to even touch it. Yeah. It was so perfectly
straight into his path,
right into his path. If Trent did that, everyone would be going on about it for weeks. Exactly. I thought it was a sensational pass. He obviously put a really great ball in for Romero's scissor kick as well, which went wide. I actually thought it was brilliant yesterday. What's called Rashford a few times tried to take him on the outside and just seed him out for a goal kick. Brilliant defending. A few times Rashford threatened to get in the transition and Porro didn't have a problem with him. I think the fact that Porro had a week's rest, I think, did him really well because he looked a lot fresher in this game. I think in build-up as well, a few times he looked like he was going to be in trouble and he just was able to play his way out the back as well. So brilliant performance from Pedro and really great to see him in this kind of form.
Absolutely. Kuti Romero up next, 8 all-round for Kuti. I mean, if he scores that scissor kick, he probably gets a 10. Unbelievable effort, just wide of the post. But he was so dominant in the air. He was so dominant on the ground. His ball-playing ability was there for everyone to show. So it's calmness personified as well from Kuti Romero, which before maybe that red card against Chelsea at the start of last season, you probably don't associate Kuti with calmness personified, but he had the armband on for this game, and he showed why.
Yeah, I think he was a mature performance from him. I think he was as aggressive as he usually is. The only reason I didn't give him a 9 is just because I thought, especially in the first the 30 minutes or so, there was a couple of times his passing passed under a bit of pressure, but thankfully we didn't get punished for it because of some poor play from Man United. But after that, a couple of moments, I thought his passing was actually sensational. Played some brilliant passes into Bentenko and Kulusevski and really started some great attacks. I thought he just completely dominated Xerxes. Xerxes had pretty much nothing apart from that one chance he had in the first half. I thought Romero was so commanding and obviously had that scissor kick as well. And imagine him having the scissor kick and Van de Ven having that run, just those two centre-backs doing that kind of stuff. It's just so fun to watch. So he's such an exciting player and I thought he was brilliant on the day.
I've actually never seen 2 centre-backs that are so influential in the attacking play. Yeah, you've got Saliba and Gabriel who knock them in from set pieces and stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from general open play. Yeah. Have you ever seen 2 centre-backs that are just so involved in everything? Yeah,
it's so brilliant. They love to get involved. They're so brilliant with their passing as well, and Van de Ven with his ball carrying. It's just really, really great to see.
And let's move on to his partner now, and Mickey van de Ven. 9s all round for Mickey. That assist in the opening 4 minutes was just a joy to behold. The way he just zoomed past everyone. And then I thought he went a little bit too wide, but it was the most perfect ball to find Brennan Johnson at the back post. And after that, just nothing got past him throughout the whole day. A couple of times it looked like Man United could be in, but there comes Van de Ven steaming down like a steam train. And, when you see Mickey van de Ven and he was like running towards us in that first half, and you're like, you get worried for that split second when you don't see him, and then you just see him. All right, don't worry, Matt Van de Ven's got it. It's all good. And he just fills you with so much confidence when you've got him playing at the back. You feel like it's a bit of a cheat code when playing a high line when you got Mickey van der Ven there, and without Mickey, I feel like we'll just concede so many more goals.
Yeah, he's a phenomenon. He really is a phenomenon. I think if he can keep up this kind of consistency in his form, he's going to go down as one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, because the pace he has, it's just so hard to get past and it's so hard to deal with. There was a few times where Garnacho looked like he was going to be in down the right-hand side. You just see Van der Ven absolutely coming down like a steam train and putting it out and just making sure that nothing comes of it. He's so great at mopping up play, but what I love about him is a lot of the time he gets when he wins the ball back, he has the calmness and the quality as well. So just play his way out of trouble, play his way out the back, use his quality that he has with his left foot to find teammates, and he's really, really improving that aspect. And obviously, one of the best assists probably in Premier League history with that run from centre-back right through the heart of the Man United backline and midfield. And not only did he have the quality defensive positioning to win the ball back of Rashford, the pace to beat the whole Man United team essentially, but also the quality in his left foot to play a brilliant ball to Brennan Johnson, and just for a tap in essentially. Brennan really didn't have to do anything, just stay there and get a tap in at the back post. It's an astonishing assist. It's like the anti-Anvertonghen against Burnley assist, basically the complete opposite. But actually, Barnaby put a good point. It was a very reminiscent of Jan Vertonghen's assist at Old Trafford, a few years ago, or goal, towards an own goal. So honestly, the way he strode forward and put the ball in, it was actually Bale-esque. It reminded me of Bale when he's at full flight, to be honest, when he used to do that for Tottenham early in his career down the left-hand side. It was just astonishing. It literally incredible, absolutely incredible from Van der Ven. And I just thought all game, don't think he put a foot wrong.
No, he didn't. And I don't understand why people are surprised. I mean, they saw him do close to the same thing against Everton earlier on, a few games ago. So this guy has got this, like, it's no bit of luck that what he did against Man United. It's not because Man United was so poor. Yeah, they could have dealt with it better, 100%, but he's got this in his locker, and this is something that we've got.
When you've got Van der Ven running a full flight, who can live with that? I think it's going to show very few teams. Looks like Vuskovic is rubbing off on him as well with his assist on the weekend. So that's even great. It's even better. Absolutely.
If anyone hasn't seen that, please do go check it out. Unbelievable. Luka Vuskovic is absolutely making waves in the Belgian league. But let's move on to Destiny Udogie. 8 all round for Destiny. Unfortunately, did have to go off at half time. Hopefully, it was just a precaution for Destiny, because again, I thought he was sensational when he was on the pitch. So dominant down that left-hand side. From an attacking perspective, he probably should have ended the first half with the goal. He was such a threat in their box. He was a lovely link-up play with Timo Werner at times. Lovely link-up play with pretty much everyone on the pitch, to be honest. He's a joy to behold when watching Destiny, when he's in this kind of form and mood. And I think the last few games, he's just been back to his definite best. And I felt from a defensive aspect, Garnacho could do nothing against him. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I think this was Udogie at his best. It really was. I thought he was sensational. The spaces he picks up on the left-hand side is so difficult to track because he's a left-back inverting. When he's actually on his game and his touch is on it, and because he's so strong, he can shield the ball so well. He picks the ball up inside the penalty area, even though he's got defenders around him. He's not scared about that situation. He's got calmness to find a teammate. I think when he's inverting like he was yesterday, I think he's really a joy to watch, and he's got such amazing physicality that he can just burst past anyone. He can just shield, make sure he's shielding the ball off anyone as well. He's really good in tight spaces when he's in this kind of form, and I think he linked up really well with Timo Werner. They had a really good relationship yesterday with some of the link-up play they had. There was that one moment, obviously, where Udogie streamed down the left-hand side after a flick by Timo, but there was actually a few times Timo got on the left and just found that run from Udogie running into the penalty area, and it caused a havoc for Man United. So I thought Udogie was absolutely at his best yesterday. Shame he went off, but he said on Instagram he'll be okay, so let's hope he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the midfielders, starting off with Rodrigo Bentancur. 8 all round for Rodrigo, and I think this is his best performance of the season by some way. I thought so calm, so measured on the ball. ball, and on top of that, he's got that physical edge as well, where he's putting in such important tackles, such important interceptions, and I think his on-the-ball ball-playing ability, I thought, was top-notch yesterday as well. So that's the exact performance we needed from someone in the six in this system, and it's just so great to see him get back to this kind of form after everything that he's been through with the injuries, the injury and then the injury again, coming back from an ACL, and you're definitely seeing Rodrigo Bentancur get back to his best now.
Yeah, and you can just see he's able to move around the pitch a lot freer than he was. He can cover a lot more ground. But what I love about Bentancur recently is he's got that ability now to be a bit more press resistant, like he was, under Conte, and he's getting that ability back in his game, and that's actually making him a really good fit for the six at the moment. He can take the ball under pressure. He's turning. He's getting good passes forward as well. He's getting that calmness, that assuredness. He sets the tone, the pace of the game. It seems a lot of the time. Like when he's like just passing it calmly, we can maintain possession. But then he's also got that ability to hit a quick transition, hit the ball quickly into Kulusevski, and all of a sudden quicken the game up as well. I love his pressing off the ball. He gets close to players. He makes sure that they're not able to turn, and he's getting tackles in. He's winning more duels as well. I think he's really, really getting back to his best, and I thought it was a really great performance again from him yesterday. So really, really good.
Next up is Deki. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him a big fat 10. I feel like this is the best performance I've seen him in a Spurs shirt since coming in. He's had some top performances, by the way, in that time. Just pure chance creation was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous yesterday. 9 key passes, 3 big chances created, gets on the score sheet with a lovely finish as well. You're looking at that heat map as well. Unbelievable from Kulusevski. Not only that, but his link-up play with James Maddison. Some of that quick passing and moving was just a joy to behold and breathtaking to watch. And Dejan Kulusevski in this position is just performing out of his skin. And the one criticism I've had about Dejan Kulusevski probably since that initial period under Antonio Conte was consistency. And he's definitely showing that now at the start of this season. And his physical edge that he has on anyone in those positions is just incredible. And I just love watching him play at the moment.
He's becoming unstoppable in this kind of position, in this form. He's been unbelievable in pretty much every game this season. Mad to think the first game of the season he didn't start, did he? No. Which is a crazy thing, even though we're all calling for it because he had a great pre-season. Maybe it's showing that what a mistake that was, because
I remember you were panicking. You're like, where's Dejan Kulusevski going to fit in this team? If he doesn't start this game, when's he going to start?
Well, we found the perfect position for him. I always said I think him next to Maddison is the best way to play him, and I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. And this was probably the best yet, because he was just incredible off the ball. He's so aggressive. Ugarte wasn't able to play out the back. They were just getting frustrated with his unbelievable pressing and winning the ball in the final third. But I just thought on the ball, it was just another level. Not only did he have the physicality, I think Ugarte just couldn't live with him. Every time he tried to close him down, he would flick it past him, it would go one way, it would go the other way. He would use his physicality just to shove him off. That moment in the second half where he played through the one-on-one, he bullied past one player, then Ugarte comes and has a nibble, and he just absolutely shoves him off. And then he plays an inch.
And he's a physical player, Ugarte.
And then he plays an inch-perfect through ball right into Werner's path, who obviously missed the chance. But he was just phenomenal in every facet of his game yesterday. Kulusevski was pretty much perfect. The only downside is he somehow didn't get an assist with the 9 chances he created, which is mad to think about. But his passing, his decision making was absolutely phenomenal. His quality was phenomenal. His physicality was phenomenal. Everything about him yesterday was absolutely top notch. And in this kind of form, he's going to take some stopping. And he's really found a home in this position in midfield now, because this was a real complete performance from him. It was absolutely phenomenal. And if he performs like this from now to the end of the season, I mean, it's going to take some stopping from him getting in that team of the year for the Premier League, honestly.
A long way to go still then, but 100%. But tell me, Tim, what does he have to do to get a 10?
I think if one of the players actually puts away one of his chances and gets a 10, it's not his fault. He got let down by his teammates.
Next up, James Maddison. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. Again, I thought James Maddison, in the last few games, well, since the start of the season, I think you'll really start to see him grow into the season. His performances seem to be getting better and better, in my opinion, and his link-up play and the way he's forming that relationship on the pitch with Dejan Kulusevski, I think is unbelievable to see. And I love him in this little deeper role where he's got that tenacity to keep winning the ball back, to keep contesting for the duels, and he's got the quality in his build-up play as well. Yeah, I would like to see him maybe take a few more shots and be more of a goal threat. But I still thought it was an unbelievable display.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of performance where what Maddison was saying after the Brentford game, like everyone looks at his goals and assists and, they judge him on that, which, as an attacking midfielder, I can understand, but he had so much more to that, and especially when he's playing here with Decking, he's a bit deeper and he can use his dribbling ability to wriggle out situations and open up space and bring other players into play. I thought he was absolutely sensational at doing that yesterday. I thought the link up between him and Kulusevski was absolutely phenomenal. They're developing this telepathic relationship, which is really, really fun to watch. He'll be a bit disappointed he had that chance, where he could have dinked it over Onana, and it was a really good save by him, and he could have finished that. But I thought his build-up play was sensational, and obviously they were getting so frustrated. Obviously Bruno hacked him down, and probably wasn't a red, but it was also a situation born out of Maddison just absolutely going past him, and they just
did make a bit of a meal out of it, didn't he?
He made a bit of a
That's
meal
James Maddison.
But it was a foul, and it probably was a yellow card, to be honest, and they just couldn't live with him in the build-up. Every time we gave the ball to him, he was just able to skip past him, and I think he relishes that. He relishes having someone to beat and having someone on him in those situations. So I think he's really coming into his own in the last two games for sure, even though I think he's been pretty good anyway this season, and this is Maddison at his best, so it's absolutely a joy to watch.
Brennan Johnson up next. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. That makes it 4 goals in his last 4 games since coming off social media because of the abuse he did take after the Arsenal game. But it's unbelievable. The change in his confidence alone is just unbelievable. The way he's getting in the right positions at every single given moment. Ange Postecoglou is really, helping this guy grow into, a real big threat in the Premier League. And it wasn't just the goal that he scored, which was obviously great positional play to find himself at the back post, where Van de Ven didn't even need to look up. He knew Brennan Johnson was going to be there. But, he has that shot that cannons off the post, which was, obviously a really nice finish that we've seen that he has in his locker over the last couple of games. He was just a constant threat down that right-hand side, and he's becoming... like I said in the match review, I've had a problem with Brennan, how he doesn't impact games and he's not a threat. Well, I feel like he's a constant threat now.
Yeah, and he's really playing with so much more confidence. You can see the shot that he took that hit the post, didn't think about it too much, just took a touch out of his feet and got the shot away, and so close to nestling into the bottom corner as well. And he's starting to find those really good finishes he was finding, earlier in his career at Forest, and obviously he's still also arriving at the back post, exactly what Ange asked him to do because of his pace and his physical qualities. He always backs himself to get ahead of the defender, although you've got to say Dalot didn't probably show himself any glory with that because he just let Brennan go, but he still had to be there, arrive at the back post and get the tap in, and a few times he had played a brilliant ball across the face of goal which nearly found Timo Werner at the back post. He obviously got the assist for the second goal with another lovely run down the right hand side, although obviously De Ligt got a bit of a touch on it, but still Brennan did really well to get into that position, and he worked so hard for the team. Second half they were starting to put a bit more threat. Man United, Garnacho was getting on the left-hand side. He was getting back in position to make a couple of blocks as well. And he's just playing with so much more confidence. He's been becoming so much more threatening. And we know when he gets in that position, he's actually got pretty good technique. He's got decent quality. When he gets in those positions, the right-hand side of the penalty area, he's starting to find the corners now. And I thought he put in a really, really strong display yet again. Dalot struggled with him. He got him booked as well, I think. So, actually it was Kulusevski on that occasion. But still, Brennan was really, really giving him a lot of trouble down the right-hand side. So, phenomenal from him. And I'm so happy that he got another goal because he's in fine form.
Let's move on to Timo Werner. 7s all round for Timo. And look, everyone's going to go back to the missed chances, and he did miss quite a few of them. I think there was 2 big chances in there where he definitely should have slotted them away, just bearing down on goal, and they were just really poor finishes. But regardless of those finishes, I felt like he had a real big impact in this game. He took Mazraoui to the cleaners a couple of times. He was providing real good work rate and solid work rate for the team, and I thought that was his best performance by some way of the season. He was just a constant threat down that left-hand side. He saw a lot of the ball, and he was actually using it well up until like that final moment where he should have scored. And yes, if Son was playing in those moments, he scores probably a brace. But Timo Werner, for all the criticism that he's coming, he took a lot of criticism after the game yesterday, which I thought was a bit unwarranted, seeing as we did win 3-0 in a great performance. But I thought Mazraoui couldn't deal with him at times.
Yeah, I think on the ball, when it was kind of, when we were asking him to stretch the play, stretch the fullback, get beyond him, create openings and create space, I thought he actually did really well, and he was always an out ball as well. Brennan actually, I don't think saw as much as the ball as Werner, who was always in space, always on the left-hand side, and continually we were able to switch the play to him, and he was always in space, and that's a really good, like, he's a very a tactically aware kind of player, Timo Werner, and I thought he did really well on those occasions. Obviously, as you say, a couple of occasions as well, he completely burnt Mazraoui down the left-hand side and created some opportunities. Obviously, people go back to the misses, which were poor, and no getting around it, especially the first one where he just hits it straight at Onana when, he had a lot of options that he could have used. And, but he's still a threat one-on-one in behind, which is no mean feat. He's making intelligent runs. He's finding those space in behind. And just because a player has pace doesn't mean they're always going to be found in behind. You have to have that timing of running. You have to have the know where to run and what times. And he's definitely got that. And he definitely stretched Man United yesterday, which was a positive. He also had that moment when he checked back. He beat Mazraoui and he had two options in the middle, and he kind of went in between both of them. And the chance was gone, which was quite frustrating. But you've got to give him a bit of leeway just because it's first start of the season in the Premier League, and he's maybe still got to find his rhythm, albeit, these kind of problems have always been problems with Timo. But, hopefully, if he can keep getting the chances he got yesterday and keep putting himself in those positions, that will start to turn once he starts to find that rhythm and can find that little touch. So, yes, it was frustrating when it got to those final actions, but I think in general he was a big threat and he actually put in a decent game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last of the starting 11 is Big Dom Solanke. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8, and I thought another great performance from Solanke. Again, I was a bit frustrated with his finishing, where he probably should have finished today on more than one goal, but great gambling for the goal that he did score. Very reminiscent of the last one where he just gets in front of those two defenders and he's there to slot home the poacher's effort. But all game, he was a constant thorn in Man United's side. His physical presence, he was just everywhere on the pitch. His link-up play as well, and they just can't seem to deal with him. He's just too much physically for any of those Manchester United players that were on the pitch yesterday, and it seems as though his work rate just sets him a level above anyone that he's playing with at the moment.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. He brings so much to the team, but he just makes sure that he protects the ball. He makes sure Tottenham can sustain attacks. Even if he can't take a touch, he's very good at just flicking the ball into space where players are waiting for him. He's got a really good appreciation for where players are on the pitch. He can just find them in space on the right-hand side or whatever with really good flicks into their path, which is really, really great. Obviously, his work rate, his pressing is phenomenal. He doesn't give defenders a moment's rest. He charges defenders down all the time, and he makes them hurry their passes, and that causes Tottenham to win the ball back. And obviously, he's a goal threat. Yes, he should have scored that one-on-one, which he'll be a bit frustrated with. It was a good save by Onana, got a toe to it. But his goal, just sniffing out opportunities to find those little tap-ins, always on the move, always looking for anticipating, flick-ons and mistakes and all these kind of things. And that's going to get him a lot of goals this season, doing all that. So really, really great from Solanke, a top performance, and he's really bedding into this team really well.
Moving on to the substitute at half-time, which was Jed Spence. 7s all round for Jed. And the more and more I watch him play, the more and more I feel like why the hell has he been left out of this European squad, which I think is a shocking decision from Ange, to be honest. But look, I think he came on in the second half, and on the back of that doggy performance in the first half, you're thinking, wow, we're going to really miss him. But we didn't really, and that's a testament to how Jed Spence did play. Look, he didn't have the same quality as Doggy showed, but he had the required ability and the required quality to really stifle that Man United attack. And I thought not much got past him, and his pure energy levels to get up and down, I think is brilliant. So I'm very happy with Jed Spence, and he's proving, I think he's proving a lot of people wrong at the moment.
Yeah, it was a good display from him. I can't complain at all. I thought he did his job. I didn't think, obviously, he did it to as much a high standard as Doggy did in the first half. But I think defensively, pretty much did what he needed to do, made sure that we're not finding any spaces, and also there was a couple of times he was being pressed and he was able to play as well out of trouble competently. And I thought down the left-hand side he was a bit of a threat. He got a few times, he burst into the space, he was looking to find teammates, he was getting some crosses in the box. So I don't think, obviously, quality-wise it wasn't as good as Udogie, but we didn't really miss Udogie because I think Spence really was put in a really competent display in that second half, and I think deserves a 7.
Mikey Moore up next, and everyone's was very excited to see Mikey Moore. He got 7s all round from us. And I thought it was a really bright cameo, to be fair, for Moore. As a 17-year-old coming on obviously, which was a heavy dominant performance from Spurs, he showed some really bright sparks. There was one moment when he was charging down that left-hand side. He had about 2 Man United players on him, and it looked like there was nowhere to go. And he got it down the flank, and he won a throw-on in the final third. And there was one moment towards the end of the game where he took a lovely shot, which showed really good technique from Moore, and it just went just wide, which was probably better finished than Timo Werner showed the whole game, to be fair. But I think Mikey Moore looked really good.
Yeah, I think he looked bright. There was a couple of moments where we played him in behind. It looked like he was going to get there first, and he got outpaced by Mazraoui. So maybe it's showing physically he's still got a lot of bit developing to do. But I think definitely he was when he got on the ball, he definitely looked bright. He had quick feet, and that shot he got right at the end looked definitely like had good technique on it. It was bending. It was just wide of the far post from 25 yards. So it was a decent effort. So it was definitely a bright cameo from him, and he looked like definitely given more time, maybe he can provide something for us.
Lucas Bergwall up next, 7s all round for Lucas. Obviously, he had his hand in the third goal with a lovely delivery from a corner, which you got to say, we were talking about this during the game and on the way home. This guy has absolute elite delivery in the 2 that he's shown so far, the corner yesterday, and also that free kick at the end of Leicester, which he put right on the money for Richarlison. Unbelievable stuff for someone so young. Pre-season as well, yeah, absolutely spot on. But I did feel like he was getting the ball in really good positions. I felt like he was just trying a bit too hard, where everyone saw what happened when he had to go off after 10 minutes in the game against Karabakh. I felt like he had that kind of in the back of his mind, and he was trying a bit too hard and I think he made a couple of wrong decisions, but don't take away from the fact that he still was quite dominant when he was on the pitch.
Yeah, I think in the middle of the park he showed some really good ability and press resistance and quality to allow Tottenham to get up the pitch, and he did some really good stuff. I think in the final third he picked a couple of wrong decisions. There was one decision where he opted to shoot from 25 yards rather than playing Mikey Moore, and that was the wrong decision apparently. Ange got a bit frustrated with him on that moment on the touchline. There was also another moment, again, he was on a breakaway, and this time he goes to play in Mikey Moore when probably I think there was a run from Decky on the right, which was a better fit, and he went for the more difficult option. It didn't come off, so that was poor. But I thought obviously the delivery for the corner was really good, and I thought in the middle of the park when we were kind of building from the back and he was getting involved in duels and being asked to get away from players, he was doing some really good stuff, and so he showed the quality. A bit frustrated with a couple of moments in the final third though.
Pape Matar, 7s all round for Pape, and I feel like Pape as well, with a bit of a slow start to the season, you're really starting to see him grow, and he's making use of the cameos that he is showing, and I felt like he just added those extra legs in the midfield. Obviously got the assist with a nice flick on for with Dom Solanke, and maybe he should have even got a goal towards the end of there as well. But I'm really happy with Pape with the improvements that he's showing.
Yeah, he's looking a lot better. I thought he definitely midweek against Karabakh, he was starting to look a lot better and got his goal. Obviously came off the bench, immediately made an impact, got an assist for Solanke with the flicked header. And as well, I thought he was getting on the ball a lot more in the final third, looking a bit more threatening, using the space well. So good cameo from him. And
last but not least, Mr. Ange Postecoglou, 9s all round for Big Ange. And it's all down to him why we're waxing lyrical about everyone today, because it's his tactics. He's stuck to his guns even through the hard times, say this is the way we're going to play and this is the way I'm going to make you successful. And yes, we're not successful as of yet, but we're definitely seeing a massive upward trajectory in the team and the way we're playing and the chance creation and putting the chances away. Yes, we could even be more clinical, and it's scary to think like if we were a bit more clinical we'd be scoring 4 or 5 goals a game. That's how well we're playing at the moment. So it's a big testament to Ange. I think the lineup that he picked, got no complaints with it whatsoever, and just to be brave like that and at an away stadium like Old Trafford is just a joy to behold watching this team. And it's the most enjoyment I've had by watching Spurs since probably the peak times of Maurizio Pochettino.
Yeah, phenomenal display. I think obviously the way he's managing the squad, I'm really liking. He is giving people rest when they need it, and I think he's trying, he's aware about overworking players, and I think, the way he's using the squad in Europa League to the Premier League led to a much fresher Maddison, much fresher Pedro Porro in this game, and I think that's really working in our favour. But obviously the way he set up the team, the way he's got us playing playing, the football he's got us playing is absolutely phenomenal. It's such a joy to behold. And, you know, the way he's got Maddison and Kulusevski together in the central midfield, and they're linking up, and they're playing beautiful football together, and they're developing this relationship. The way he's got Brennan back with confidence and he's firing on the right hand side, the way he's settled Dom Solanke into the striker position is really, really effective as well. I think he's managing the team really well, and obviously he makes a couple subs, and straight away Bergvall takes a corner and Sarr gets an assist, fix it into Solanke, who scores. So the subs absolutely worked a treat as well, made them at the right time, and I thought he made a good decision to take off Dom Solanke, Udogie, even though we were only 1-0 up. You know, some people might say, oh, it's only 1-0, you can't start taking off people like Udogie, but he didn't want to risk him, and so I think everything he's doing so far this season has led to improvement. We're conceding less chances, we're creating more chances. So I think it was a really good managerial display from Ange.
Absolutely, and you know the narrative. You can't go away to these grounds and play the way Ange plays consistently, but he's proving all the doubters wrong at the moment. So big up to Big Ange Postecoglou. A super chat here from Andrew Dean saying, big up guys, I hope Solanke got the England call up for his performances during the international break. I mean, I really hope he doesn't get called up, but I think he will now. With Harry Kane, I think he went off injured for Bayern Munich. I'm not sure the extent of the injury, but if Harry Kane, even if Harry Kane's fit, he's got a good chance of getting called up, doesn't he?
Yeah, with Tony moving to Saudi, I think Solanke's going to have more eyes on him. And he was really unlucky probably in the Euros not to be called up, because Tony didn't have the best second half of the season and Solanke had a great year. So I think now Solanke scoring goals consistently for Tottenham, playing the way he's playing, I think it'll be hard to ignore, to be honest.